空へ空へ高き空へ向かい咲きし花よ時の上乱さえ踏み越えて咲けあでやかに振り向きもせず花は咲いて散りゆくその生き様糸強く潔く愛しき人がごとなされども背負う夢はあまりに重くただ見守るもどかしさこの胸にしまいて今宵も祈る運命分け合いたいもし許されるなら明日の手がかりはその背中次の時まで空へ空へ瑠璃の空へ向かい開く夢よ闇に燃え盛る夜桜よ咲け鮮やかに
Hello, hello.
Hey guys,
Hello!
I'm Hana,
I'm Kage.
And I'm Izumi.
and this is
Hakuoki Shinsengumi Kyoto wins.
Kyoto wins.
also known as Saturday Nights with Kage's Revenge.
Give me 1 second.
Just with
because
Izumi
I'm
added in.
grabbing the walkthrough.
Oh yes, Izumi absolutely demanded to be a part of this Saturday night show.
Because Hakuoki is my thing.
These girls are huge Hakuoki fans and have been for about as long as probably longer than I've known them. I'm just
I've
here.
known about this.
But-
I've known about this, when it was an anime before even meeting Kage. So,
Yeah, Izumi's the one that got me into this.
Oh,
yep.
so
You go lay down, dog.
lay down. So why else are we here other than just to pick on me?
There's additional there's additional routes that we never got to.
Yeah,
Do in the original.
Some of you may remember that I used to play this on Kage's board when I was still living at home and we were still on livestream.com. And that game didn't have all the routes that are currently available in the new version of the game. There's also extra scenes that weren't in the original. Izumi will remember some of them. Unfortunately, the Oidan scene is not in this.
Only in the anime.
Well, the Oidan scene is in the PS3 version of the first game, but I think the
Right.
reason they didn't add the Oidan scene into this is because they would have had to write sides for all of the new boys. So instead of do that, they just omitted it. So this is a otome game that takes place in Japan, of old ancient Japan during the break from the imperial break from the shogunate.
Tell the people a little bit about the historical Shinsengumi, for those who don't know.
So the Shinsengumi were a group of they weren't officially samurai because they weren't born
People that were of non-samurai descendant.
Yeah, they weren't descended from samurai, but they wanted to be samurai. So
And in a country like Japan where family heritage is everything, especially
so
at the time.
they formed this group who a lot of people saw as just, militant bullies, but a lot of they ended up going on to serve the shogunate, and they fought on the shogunate side of the war, and eventually they all died. But well, there's
mysteriously doesn't say if they died.
Nobody knows what happened to Saito. So
no one knows what really happened to Hijikata either.
True.
There's a lot we know about the Shinsengumi, but there's a lot we don't. So this game is kind of like a historical romance in the sense that it takes its it takes its premise from this group of this historical group of people who actually existed and puts its own kind of fantastical spin on it, and you get to experience
fictional spin on it.
And it does stick to history for a good portion of it. There's certain scenes that we'll talk about when we get to them that are technically historically accurate, but then deviate from history for the sake of the story.
So about how long do you want to make these episodes? Because it's all visual novel, all text, so we're going to have to...
We can cut it by chapter.
How long is each chapter?
I have no idea.
Depends on the voicing, so they're pretty long.
Well, we're not if we're not going to be able to get through one chapter at least one chapter a night, then we're going to want to split them up more often than that.
Then I mean, there's between scenes there's like fade to blacks, I guess. I don't know.
How does 30 minutes sound?
We can do 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think this kind of game...
I go with 30 minutes.
I think this kind of game would work better with just a countdown timer.
Good idea.
Alright, so we can put this in a forward episode too, since we're not actually playing the game yet, so... Alright,
the big question is, though, which routes are we doing first?
All of them.
We're starting with Hijikata.
Oh, of course.
He is the main
He's
route.
considered the canon pairing.
Yes.
If you watch the anime, he's the one his route is the one that sticks closest to history.
Yes.
Alright, oh, and check out this banner that Kage made too, by the way. She actually found this font.
Ah!
It was a free font.
Can you send that to me later? Because I'm going to want that to number the title cards.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
I'll have to find it in my history, though.
Then, with that, we are going to cut the episode real quick, and when we come back, we will get started with Hakuoki.
See you guys shortly.
Bye.
Welcome to Hakuoki Kyoto Wins!
Hi!
I'm Hana.
I'm Kage.
And I'm Izumi.
And we're going to get this show started.
She'll be able to hear the game, though, if you share the game window with her.
Do you want to hear the game?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Because I need cues for, like, music and...
Yeah, this is not going to be like the 3DS. It's not going to shrink on her.
Right. Okay, all yours, Kage.
Cute, adorable Chizu.
No.
Oh, you have to use the keyboard. What name do you want?
Kage, always. I mean, I could do Makoto.
I think it... Kage, always. We have come to save you.
Beat you.
What?
Okay, Izumi, I'll defer to you. Do you want to do Kage or Makoto?
Makoto, because then you could throw all your little spits.
For the audience, Makoto is my OC that I was writing a
fanfic.
I was writing an X-Reader fanfic and Makoto was the default name.
So what's this about spitting?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Usually, like, you go, like, shut up to this character, or, like, additional. It's like, you try to turn her into more like, look, I can actually kick ass, not the usual Otome game.
Oh, yeah. The one thing about Chizuru, Chizuru is the default name for the main character. The one thing about the main character that annoys the fuck out of me is how fucking useless she is.
You know,
no, it's not only her. They do it with mostly
every
a lot of
Otome game
games.
Protagonist.
Except for one that I know that has to do with gods. And, like, her main girl dating gods, she actually does kick ass.
Yeah, but some of those Otome games in anime get really bad.
Anyway.
Are
we ready to start?
Let's start.
Yes. Let's start a lesson in history.
This is a work of fiction.
Fanfic
Names,
style.
characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents mentioned in this.
Fiction story mixed with history. There you go.
One night, late December, back in '64.
That's how music didn't exist back then.
So this is Kyoto.
Oh, can you not speed up the text appearance?
There is a way.
I'm hitting the X button.
That speeds it up.
It was awfully impressive, no denying it. Even simple hellos between people passing in the street seemed warm and friendly. They nodded and smiled to one another as if family and not strangers, about on errands. Still, there was something else as well. Something making the city feel strangely cold.
I don't know, maybe it was the fact that it was fucking December.
Fucking December.
Almost as though there was a great invisible wall shutting out anyone wandering from the country. I'm not sure if I belong here. No, that's all in my head. I walked quite some distance to reach Kyoto, and both my mind and body were exhausted. Even so, tiredness was no reason to meander and feel sorry for myself. I couldn't afford to. Excuse me? I hesitantly stopped a passerby. I'm sorry, I seem to be a bit lost. Could you... What am I supposed to do now?
Wow, that didn't turn out at all.
I was lost again, but in a different sort of way. I sighed and looked up at the darkening sky. The sun was beginning to set. I also feel like you'll notice a lot of typos, like just right there, where it said instead of at the darkening sky, it said at darkening sky. There's actually a lot of typos in this, and I feel like it was rushed.
A little.
Well, it may have been developed on not that much of a budget.
People I'd spoken to showed me no unkindness, and they'd given me directions I needed, but... Was now really the best time to leave the city? Learning the person I'd hoped to visit had left town caused hope to seep from my crumbling resolve. The only person beside Father... Yeah, this'll give us...
Oh, an encyclopedia.
Information.
Kodo Yukimura, a Dutch-educated doctor in service to the shogunate and the father of the protagonist. He has been missing since shortly after his arrival in Kyoto. And I forget, I can't switch between them, apparently. There's two there, but I can't switch between them. Oh!
There you go.
Ryujin Matsumoto, a respected doctor working for the Tokugawa shogunate. The only person besides Father I could rely on in the city who I could rely on in the city who I could rely on. See what I mean? Dr. Matsumoto. Dr. Matsumoto was a doctor serving the shogunate, a military government run by samurai. In this game, it refers to the Tokugawa shogunate. Get used to those, because there's a lot of them. There's also a good number of them that explain historical characters or events that are mentioned but aren't, like, gone into detail, so it's good to have.
I like in-game encyclopedias.
I had never met him myself, but Father put a great deal of trust in the man. He had told me that if I ran into any trouble in his absence, I was to contact Dr. Matsumoto. Unfortunately, Dr. Matsumoto was out on business and would not return for some time. Was I too hasty? Perhaps I should have waited. It is indeed rude to visit without warning, which is why I had sent a letter prior to my arrival, but it seems he had left before reading my letter. Perhaps I thought I should have waited for a reply before traveling to an unfamiliar city. But I can no longer spend time waiting idly for news. The protagonist. The main character of this story. Yes, yes, yes. Caius.
Makoto.
Is something wrong, Father? He paused for a moment and looked at me.
It seems I must depart for the city of Kyoto.
Is it for business again? He had left the house often during that period, sometimes for days at a time. How long will you be gone?
I'm afraid I can't say. A month, perhaps. Maybe 2.
Oh. There was no hiding my disappointment. Nonetheless, I wasn't a child anymore. I couldn't beg him not to go or some other foolishness. Yes, I'd be lonely, but I was much more worried for him. Please, Father, be careful. They say that the city of Kyoto is dangerous. He only smiled and nodded.
You needn't fret. I will be sure to send you letters often, so that you will have no need to worry.
Okay. You promise? Father kept his promise. A new letter arrived so often I scarcely had the time to respond before another would arrive. He told me that he worried about me being home all by myself. Then the letter stopped. A whole month passed with no word. Father, they say Kyoto is full of ronin. Ronin, samurai who have left their master or who have been stripped of their privileges, can also refer to a samurai who does not have a master to serve. It is not a safe place. Usually a samurai is paid by their house, but house refers to the domain or clan that a samurai serves. It can also be used after a fashion to refer to the specific person a samurai serves. Ronin who report to no house often rob people in order to make ends meet. They're nothing more than violent criminals who hide behind the image of the samurai. Such is the state of the city of Kyoto, the city of Ronin.
Wow.
Small wonder, then, that I worried for my father. My mind would concoct horrible possibilities, and I often found myself depressed and tense. First, I suppose I need to find a place to stay. Lost in thought, I didn't notice nightfall descend. If I was honest with myself, I hadn't the faintest idea of how long searching for him would take. I'd brought a negligible sum of money with me, enough to last me a month if used wisely. Finding Father in this window of time was a must. Otherwise, I would have to depend on Dr. Matsumoto returning in this time, or else I'd be forced to return home without a word. Well, at any rate, I should try and be as frugal as possible. I lengthened my stride and set off on my path. Fortunately for me, men's clothing assisted with keeping a quicker pace than women's. Kyoto presented many dangers to a young girl hoping to explore the city without direction. My disguise, such as it was, proved successful, and I'd safely made it all the way to Kyoto. Such success went to my head and led me to believe I could explore Kyoto as I pleased. But Kyoto was not a safe place. I should have remembered that. Instead, I had somehow convinced myself that the city's hidden dangers didn't apply to me.
What was that sound?
It was the
What?
witch.
The witch?
No, witch sound.
I thought I heard the game make a snap.
It's like somebody stopping, walking.
Oh, is this random?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I was about to discover otherwise. I spun around. In the street in front of me were 3 ronin.
You spun around? Are you sure? The background didn't change.
Can I help you? I did my best to keep my voice calm, reaching nonchalantly for my kodachi. Kodachi, originally a short katana. By the end of the Edo period, it referred to a large wakizashi. It was usually worn as half of a pair with a larger sword, such as a katana. My father encouraged me to take sword lessons. I kept with them, and I did rather well. I was confident enough in defending myself. However, perhaps my overconfidence in myself is what served the situation at hand to me. I had messed up and let my guard down. My fault. There was a chance I could take them on, but there were 3 of them, and 1 of me.
Ichiro.
Random dude.
Pretty
Go for
nice
it.
blade you got there, kid.
Only then did I realize they were far more interested in my sword than they were in me. Izumi.
Jiro.
Looks like a bit much for a pup like this, right?
Their names literally mark them 1, 2, 3
Yep.
in Japanese.
Give it here, okay? We'll put it to good use. But this is... The sword wasn't just some blade I'd picked up. It was a family heirloom spanning generations. There was no way I could give it to the Ronin. Though I had a feeling they wouldn't understand. In such a situation, the best decision was undoubtedly to retreat. I turned and ran as fast as my legs could.
Was that me?
That was
Nope.
Hana.
Hey, get back here, you little bastard!
Oh, they still think you're a boy.
Gosh, they sure don't give up easily, do they? I felt like I'd been running for quite a while, but I could still hear the Ronin cursing loudly.
Fuck! Shit! Damn you! Go to hell, bastard!
Get back
Dick!
here!
I ducked into an alley, flattening against the wall. After deciding they weren't too close, I crept further into the alley. Someone left a couple sheets of wood leaning against one of the houses. A perfect hiding spot. What luck, I thought, kneeling down under them. This is my way to escape this mess. Huh? I was listening for sounds intently. A suspicious calm entered my mind. I'd expected to hear the Ronin yelling to each other, looking for me, but seconds turned into minutes. I heard nothing. I was about to sneak out and have a look when... What? My plan to investigate was immediately halted. Remaining silent and hidden was more important. Still...
Damn you!
What is this? Why won't you die? Damn it! We gotta get out of here.
It was then that true fear began to set in. There was something dangerous out there. Something quite possibly lethal. My imagination conjured up no shortage of gruesome theories. Even so, I could feel an itch of curiosity. I wanted to know what was out there. Carefully, I peeked around the corner's edge. The cold reflection of moonlight upon a blade glared at me, and my eyes followed it to the arm that held it, clad in a coat of light blue. Had this person saved me? But no slower than it appeared, my hope vanished.
Continue.
I heard the Ronin stumbling to beg for his life. The person in the blue coat said nothing, just swept forward, his sword raised.
Oh, nice graphic.
A high, screeching laugh cut the man's scream. The blade fell through the air like a butcher's knife rather than a sword. No skill, just death. The scream turned wet, caught and disappeared like air leaving half-empty bellows. My eyes went wide. I had just witnessed a murder. Any strength I'd received vanished quickly. My legs gave way and I crumbled to the ground. My eyes widened like busted shells. He died with the first blow, but as I watched, the blades fell, carving lines into the corpse. The soft slip of a blade through flesh, the silent creep of blood across the ground. I felt nothing from them but madness. Their only desire was raw, animalistic violence. Whatever they were, it wasn't human. They were broken. I could feel my throat clench tightly, and a warm, dark smell brushed against my face. I slowly recognized the coppery tang of blood. An icy bolt of fear ran down my spine, crawling into my limbs and freezing me in place. I was terrified. What was I going to do? What could I do? I feel like I'm narrating a creepypasta. You have to run, Makoto. I forced my jaw open and drew a ragged breath. This was the only chance I'd get. I'd had to. My body, still numb with fear, was unresponsive. I lurched sideways against the stacked wood, and with a rough clatter, it collapsed. The creatures turned, coats drenched in blood. Their eyes locked with mine and bore into me. Hideous grins split their inhuman faces, shaking with excitement at prey to slaughter. Hey, Travis! I had to run. I couldn't die yet, but my legs refused to move. Their hideous, cackling laughter echoed. I was going to die. My body was frozen with terror. I couldn't even scream. This was it. This was the end. I watched them raise their bloody swords, the moon glinting off the metal. Then there was a flash of light and the soft splash of blood. That's because I've played it before on the channel, Travis, but this is the new version of the game.
Where there's other routes.
I could feel it, warm and sticky. Bile began to rise in my throat, but before disgust took hold, I heard a voice. Bokta. You might need to pull up the sheet. Right.
Really?
The word suggested disappointment, but the voice sounded happy. Yes, this is Hakuoki, but this is the new version of the game. This is Hakuoki Kyoto Wins, the first half.
And it's on Steam.
Yes.
Yay.
And here I was planning to take care of them all. Can't you have picked another day to work fast, Saito?
As he spoke, the strange man smiled, almost as if he were enjoying himself.
I only did my job. Unlike you, I take no pleasure in battle.
I already say this is better than the English dub. There's only one voice I'm okay in the English dub, and that's his game.
Shots fired.
I am one person trying to dub an entire Otome game.
If we're better than the official English dub,
No, I'm not.
shots fired.
No, I did not say that. I am not.
I did.
You are, though.
Well, that's
I mean,
not a very...
Shh.
Go ahead.
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say.
He laughed.
You don't even bother to deny it.
The man called Saito sighed with the air of a long-suffering companion and looked at me.
Look. Maybe. But if you just sat back and let them kill the kid, you could have saved us some trouble.
His tone...
Who was that?
I think that was Okta.
Can I have the line again?
I don't know how to open the log!
Triangle?
No.
Oh no.
Start?
Fuck!
Select?
Which one's select? Nope, that's
Up on the
foreskin.
D-pad? Up on the D-pad?
Nope.
Okay, Sure, quick save.
Nope.
Oops.
I'm trying to figure it out. Hold on.
Alright.
Yeah.
Pause.
Hey guys! Do you like our content? Do you want to support the show? Click the link in the description below to visit our donation page. All proceeds go towards new and better equipment and games you want to see us play. Everyone who donates will get a special shout out at the end of future videos, and we're currently working on setting up some special perks for you. If you don't want to donate, that's okay too. You can support us by subscribing and clicking that bell icon so you get notified whenever we put out a new video. A huge thank you to Kyle Sheridan for donating and helping to keep our show going. Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you'd like to listen to more voice acting, click the box on the left to check out Fire Emblem Fates. I hear it's a wonderful story about siblings and overcoming evil.
Or, if you'd like something a little different, head to that box on the right to check out Saving Throw, where the members of Revolutionary Productions play through ridiculous adventures in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Seriously, go check it out. That's an order.
Hijikata? You can't just order the viewers around.
I can if they're all like you.